Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of B is for Build. We are back working on our camper truck. This is a Dodge Ram 3500 that I bought crashed at auction, and it's undergone quite a transformation. We removed the truck bed, designed a whole rear back cabin area, habitat, built that out, did a front end swap on the truck to make it look more modern, so it's all 2022 front end. We painted the entire thing, we insulated the habitat, installed the TV, and since then it's been undergoing a very important process of waterproofness testing, meaning I've left it outside for the last 3 months to see how it would do in the weather, to make sure that we don't have any leaks, which we're gonna check on in a second. We need to take this thing about 1,400 miles round trip to go pick up a new vehicle that I purchased at auction. This is our dedicated tow rig, and we figured no better time than now to continue testing it and development on it. So it's time to test the towing. But before we do that, we wanna do some upgrades, some work, some preparation for our road trip. That's what we're up to in today's episode. Let's go check that waterproofness. Oh, back to filming inside here. It's very challenging to film inside here, but let's walk you through what we found. So after sitting outside for 3 months, we found a little bit of dribblings over there, a little bit right there, a little bit right there, and that's it for this back area. So it's nothing too bad. What I saw was definitely voids in our sealant, and I think that we need to add a little bit more sealant, and that's going to be our first strategy for curing this problem, is just make sure we fill in all the voids with our seam sealer, and then, you know, give it another test run. But it's really, all in all, nothing too bad, nothing catastrophic, so that's good. It's a bit of a mess in here. We've got a lot of cleaning to do and fastening down of things. And since our first step is cleaning, I think that's a great segue into today's episode sponsor, Giraffe Tools. They sent us this awesome wall-mounted vacuum cleaner and all the attachments for it. This is something we've desperately been needing in the shop, and it's a pretty cool piece of kit. So it's got an automatically winding and arranging hose, so you can pull it out and feed it all the way out, and this is what we're gonna be using in a minute on the truck, and then it will wind itself back in, give it a tug, and it'll wind itself back in and roll itself back up onto the roll neatly. It comes with 6 different attachments for wet and dry cleaning. They'll help you quickly clean up things like dust, sand, paper debris, hair, food scraps, liquid spills, all that good stuff. And for us, it's gonna be a lot of styrofoamy bits. And it's got a super powerful motor over here that delivers 20 kPa of strong suction and an adjustable suction control switch on the wand, that's this guy right here, which ensures optimal cleaning performance tailored to different suction and cleaning needs. They also sent us this really great pressure washer. It has a ton of features. This thing, like the vacuum, has a retractable hose. You can pull it out. When you stop, it stops, and then you just give it a tug, and it'll go right back in. This is a 100-foot long soft hose that is replaceable if you need to. It's got this ball right here that's adjustable if you want to keep it at any longer length. 4 different nozzles for your different firing angle needs. It ranges from 0 to 45 degrees. One cool thing is the trigger also has a safety, so you don't have any accidental discharge. You can see how I can't squeeze the trigger anymore. And then now I can. It also comes with a foam cannon for all of us car nerds out there. This is great for washing your car. And it is a beautiful wall mount setup, but because we are gonna be taking this out to our different boats on location, I'm not gonna wall mount it just quite yet. And it's got an upgraded motor for longer lifespan. It's one of those pressure washers that when you let go of the trigger, it stops running, so it saves energy. And it's just a really wonderful, all-in-one, nice, tidy package design. Great for any garage. And you're gonna see me using it on some of the stuff behind us later in this episode. So when you're watching us today with our carefree, effortless vacuum cleaning and pressure washing, and your loved one gets jealous, you know that you need to head to the link in the description. These are an epic gift for somebody this holiday season. So make sure you hit that link in the description, go check it out. Big thanks to Giraffe Tools for sponsoring this episode. Let's get down to cleaning. The vacuum cleaner works really, really well, and this ultra long hose goes all the way off the wall and everywhere within this truck, which is a really big ask, and it's really great. And a cool thing is the wand actually has a remote start-stop on the handle that you're using to vacuum things up. So you don't have to walk back to the wall mount to turn it on and off. You can just turn it on and off right from your hand. Very cool. Kyle, how was the vacuum? What's the Kyle rating of approval?
Works well.
Works well. We got the Kyle Business Better Bureau of Bureaucracy and Vacuuming. And we got a clean, vacuumed out truck. Very happy about that. Now, we've been jumping all around, making a to-do list. There's gonna be a lot of different things we're gonna attack, and I got completely sidetracked. I've been driving this truck around town just to get a feel for it and everything. And the back is a little squishy. There's a 2-stage rear leaf spring setup, and the previous owner had air suspension in here. No, sorry, not air suspension, airbags for towing, because this was used as a 5th-wheel truck, tow truck. So there are bags back there, and there are lines that run all the way up to here. There's a Schrader valve right here for filling, and then there was a bunch of stuff that ran to controls that ended up getting terminated right by our feet. These are just remnants of their old system. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is pull this whole bundle back out and through. I know the guys at Airlift are watching this going, come on, we offered you this kit like a million years ago. In the long run, we will take Airlift up on the offer to have the full management system for the bags in the back. But in the short run, I'm just gonna make it a manual system so we can add air here, and we'll add it overnight and we'll see if it leaks at all tomorrow. I'm gonna make it just a totally manual system where a Schrader valve right here goes to the 2 bags in the back. It's gonna go to a T, and one will go to each bag in the back, which will keep them level. And we'll go ahead and add some pressure and check for leaks and stuff like that. To do that, I just gotta pull a lot of these pneumatic hoses out and replumb them. Cool. I was able to do the Schrader valve straight into a 2-into-1, back down to the airbags. I figured out what all the other lines were. There's actually an air compressor, a storage tank, and a bunch of stuff down underneath, but it's not wired to a brain, a control unit to manage the air pressure. So we've got 45 pounds in there right now. We'll check it tomorrow to see if we still have 45 pounds. There's a noticeable lift, and I could see air in the bags back there. So a lot of it's gonna be driving feel now on the way back, and then we can always top it up as we go along. If this leaks, obviously it's not really gonna help us on a road trip unless we keep topping it up at every gas station, but that would be absolutely miserable. Did spray test it for any leaks. We didn't see any up here, so hopefully it's good. The other option is, if we have to, I can wire in that air compressor down there and we could use a manual switch to keep topping it up. Next up, we're gonna jump into things that bang around when we drive. So when we go over a bump, you know, stuff jumps a little bit, and things that aren't bolted down have been banging. So we've got things like electrical outlets, like this one's got a tab that's meant to be put here. These are all gonna be temporary fixins because we have interior paneling and insulation to build around these things, but just for this trip, we'll bolt some things down. Our TV bracket is a little loose, so we'll bolt that guy down. I've been driving around with it down and it's been no problem, so that's probably just, we're gonna probably just leave it like that. I can't wait to be able to watch it once we're done driving. And then there's an electrical outlet here. We've got these nice little boxes that have a lot of places to be able to bolt. And like I said, it's gonna be temporary. And then the other thing is latching things down. So that whole back thing, this is one big old back hatch swinging door. It needs latches. These do, again, probably have to be temporary unless we find a really clean way to build around them when we do the interior paneling. And the other big thing is this window and this staircase right here. So we're gonna go ahead and figure out a way to weld on some nice heavy duty latches, because we have to have 100% trust. That could kill somebody if it fell down on them. So this has gotta be very strong, very well done. And we have the perfect latches for it. They have a secondary locking mechanism. So I'm gonna be trying to latch that down, probably latch that to that, latch that to that, and then we gotta bolt down a bunch of other things that go clickety-clackety when we go down the road. All right, we are latched down. So these are the locking latches that I talked to you about. So you hit this thing back here and that allows you to release it. And then you put it back down and get it engaged. Nice strong latch. Same goes for these guys back here. Kind of just pull it down, it loosens it up, push it back down, tightens it back down. So we are latched up. We got to figure out a solution for the window tomorrow. But I'm pretty excited to test drive this thing and see how it sounds. So I'm going to test drive it home right now. We'll come back tomorrow morning and I'll give you the report on how it is for rattling. We're back for the next day. I am super happy to say the clanking has gone completely away. It did now make audible room for some squeaking, which we will continue to work on. It's nothing major, but you know, we want to get this as quiet as we can. We've got the hood pop so we can test our airbag pressure. Moment of truth here. It really did feel when I was driving it home last night that it was much better in the stiffness area. Everybody likes a stiff ride, if you know what I mean. Boom! And then I dropped it in the engine bay. We definitely have pressure though. I have absolutely no faith in this $5 tire pressure gauge. We're gonna use our own that we filled it up with, because this thing doesn't even read to the PSI that I put the truck at. What vehicle only does 20 PSI in their tires? Upon further review, the ruling on the field is that we lost all our air pressure. We're gonna work on these lines a little bit. we'll do whatever we can to try and fit the fittings as fit as they go. I really regret not taking up Airlift Performance on their offer to send us a kit. Also, one of the first things that we did was go to the DMV and get the truck registered. Past registration, no problem. As a 2005 Ram 3500, okay. And then I really wanted to make sure that we had a proper alignment on this vehicle. So we headed out to Superior Tire Service. Next stop, we're here at Superior Tire Service, and it's not just tires, it's not just industrial trucks. They did the wheels and tires multiple times on the Lamborghini so we could get dialed in with our tires. But they also do alignments, and this thing, the steering wheel is just slightly to the left. Overall, it's driving pretty good, but I would love to get it fully dialed in alignment, and now we made this connection over here with our manager, Matt, who is super happy to help us and work on this stuff, and as well as you guys. So if you're in the Portland area, you're gonna wanna check this place out because he loves cars, loves modified cars, knows about drifting alignment, racing alignment, all sorts of the wheel and tire nitty gritty, all that good stuff that you would wanna know. These guys got your back. So I'm gonna put a link in the description. Shout out to Superior Tire Service out here in Portland for helping us out. We're gonna go ahead and pull this thing in, and there's one question I've always wanted to know about alignment, so let's get it pulled in and I'm gonna learn it. So I was really curious about how they get the steering wheel to stay straight. It's this tool right here. This locks your steering straight. And then this guy right here helps the computer and tells everything about how to dial in. So this locks your steering wheel straight. That's what I was curious about. And then the computer will tell you how to get straight. Now on this vehicle, it's a little bit different because there's actually a piece that we replaced with our new frame replacement. And it's part of the steering box, and it's crank in, crank out, and it literally just moves your steering wheel. So we did a two-person operation. Matt just held the steering wheel straight, and then the tech here just dialed it in. So our alignment is good, our steering wheel is now straight, and we are ready to get back on the road. Next up, our front grille has looked a little letterless, and that's because we ordered several different versions of different things that are supposed to clip in here, snap in here, and then the letters go on. And honestly, I'm several $100s into this process, and I figured it'd be fun to 3D print something, but we do have a lot of leftover things that are good to be used. So we're gonna just epoxy some stuff on and see if it lasts for the trip. We've got the trim pieces that go here, and we've got the RAM that can go here, and another trim piece there. I think it'll look good in the long run, and it'll be a lot more fitting until we get my 3D print. I kind of want to do a Team Ramrod. I think it's gotta be done, Team Ramrod. So let's epoxy some stuff on there. Kyle's gonna be working on that. I'm working on this window. We devised a way for it to shut and latch and stuff, but it's kind of large and it's kind of clunky, and I think I figured out a way I could do it with more latching, and I would rather latch it. So there's a lot of cutting and bending of small pieces of metal. That's pretty boring, but then once the sparks fly, I should have a latching system. We are officially rammed up. We'll remove the tape once there is no risk of stuff falling back off. So never. And here's the external view of the window actually closed and latched shut. The latches are relatively rough, but they're nothing that can't be finished out. And if anything, it's a great proof of concept to test everything out. In the long run, we need gas struts as well, and I think they could attach close to the latching mechanism. So it might be a unit that I keep building out, but so far it's really good. So I'm happy with that, and it's a nice, strong latching shutting, and that goes over the door, which also latches shut. Next thing that we need is a rear view camera. Now we're gonna mount this a little bit higher than you would, for instance, for just a reversing camera. It's not gonna go down here. It's actually gonna go right up there. And I'm gonna run the cable kind of right through this little pinch, this little spot that we got here. And then I'm gonna run power up, and I gotta run it to the running lights. So this is gonna be attached to the running lights. That way it'll activate the camera anytime we turn the running lights on. And we'll be able to monitor what we're towing, because the game plan is that we're gonna go pick up a build and tow it back home. So this will help us be able to watch the trailer, watch the build, and obviously back up. I'm pretty positive it's gonna be high enough. If you imagine a trailer is about that high, car's about that high, it should be tall enough that we could see over everything. If not, I guess I could always move it up there. The reason I'm not putting it up there right off the get-go is when we open this, it could get pinched in our lip up there. You guys saw me finish the wiring back there. I got a nice grommet on the exterior to keep it all waterproof and everything's plumbed in. So camera is in the back, facing the back. When we move over to here and ignore the junk in the cup holder, we've got a new piece of junk in the cup holder, which is this guy. You know, long term, we could probably find a nice place for it up here, but I think this is gonna do plenty well for now. Actually, it's pretty stable. It has a little cable that runs out to the cigarette adapter, and we can click it right like that to activate it, and that turns on the screen. So the screen's gonna be black because the cameras aren't on, because the running lights aren't on. So we're gonna get the annoying dinging. I apologize about that. But once we do that, it turns on the camera, and it is flashing a lot, but that is most likely the refresh rate of our lights in the shop, which are tricky for all cameras. Those of you that have watched the show for a long time know that. So I'm pretty happy about this. This is, we've got a full signal strength right here and a really annoying ding, so I'm gonna turn that off. But I think that's a win. We've got our, not just a backup camera, but basically a back of the car monitor, a behind us monitor, a rear view monitor. What's this? Hey, there's a free Kit Kat wrapper. I wonder if that's us or the previous owners. Yeah, all this junk in that's previous owner's stuff. That's not me. Cool, that's a lock. Now on this side, for some reason, I've seen some rust dribbling down. You can see all this rust. This is rusty water marks. I don't know where this is coming from. I know we're gonna wanna power wash it all off, but I wanna do a little bit of investigating and see if we missed painting something and if it's in there rusting and that's what's causing this, or what's going on. Now these are something that we designed and I really like. The idea is that with a little jiggle, this is a slide out working space. You can take, you know, all my weight, and we're supposed to be working on here, and nothing's rusting here, so slide it enough, it just comes out. And everything is covered, hit with Steal-It, and Steal-It is very rust preventative, so none of this is rusting, which is a little interesting. Okay, I found the culprit. The inside of this C channel right here didn't get a coat of paint, or if it, yeah, it just didn't get a coat of paint. Both sides. So that was creating a little rust that dribbled down. It's just really surface rust at this point though, so I'm gonna hit it with Steal-It, and I think that's gonna solve the problem. I doubt that we're gonna see any more rust, so I'm gonna hit it with Steal-It, and then we'll get our new pressure washer out. All right, I got that painted, gave it time to dry, got my new pressure washer out. Let's give it a blast. Rust be gone. It's like as good as new. All right, it's time to pack this thing up. I've got a couple mattresses I need to throw in here, and I don't know what else. A heater, our Anchor Solix. Let's load it up. Whew, the mattress, that was a fun one. Looks like we either measured incorrectly or I planned on trimming it the whole time, but it looks like trimming it is what's gonna happen, that's for sure. It's only about 4 inches long, 3-4 extra inches tall, but we're loaded. So the full 360. Over here we got the battery, visualizer, 110 inverter on off switch, Kyle's sleeping quarters, door with a ton of latches, television that actually works. I updated the software. My bed looks not as impressive as Kyle's bed. A heater I've had for 10 years sitting in my house, refrigerator, air conditioner ain't gonna be used, Anchor Solix, bunch of random tools and stuff just in case. The weather report for tomorrow says don't go. It's a once in 10 year storm hitting overnight. We've decided that we're gonna give it a shot unless they close the roads. But either way, we're going on a journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit subscribe so you don't miss any more videos of us improving on our camper truck. If you want any shirts that represent how you make decisions or anything fun like that, check out beisforbuild.com. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!